Hi, I'm John Mattison. I spent most of my career at Kaiser Permanente leading a team that's done digital transformation involving all kinds of technologies. And my passion is to bring about the convergence of multiple exponential technologies across the entire spectrum of healthcare. I am now, in addition to doing strategic consulting for Kaiser Permanente, I'm beginning to work with several startups that involve artificial intelligence. So I think the real opportunity of artificial intelligence has to do with the fact that thinking in silicon, as in AI and the machine, versus thinking in carbon are two very different ways of evaluating inputs and creating outputs. And there are different biases associated with thinking in silicon versus thinking in carbon. And so as we see the evolution of artificial intelligence across verticals, across geopolitical boundaries, what we're seeing is that the more data you have access to, the better a solution you can create. And so fundamentally, artificial intelligence really provides the ability to operate on unlimited sized data sets in ways that the human brain thinking in carbon is incapable of doing. And so as you bring data sets from multiple different domains across geopolitical boundaries, it introduces all kinds of legal and regulatory and ethical issues. It also introduces all kinds of operational challenges, because just creating a useful algorithm is the beginning of the story. The story has to evolve through the understanding of what, based on an input from a certain data set, can result in an output for action, particularly in healthcare. Has a risk profile associated with it that varies depending upon the use case. And so when you look at the different use cases and their different risk profiles, it has ramifications across all of those axes. So the reason that I love this conference especially is that it crosses four separate global domains. One is the geopolitical domain, one is the technology domain, one is the verticals that all are using artificial intelligence for their own internal purposes, and the other is the legal, regulatory, ethical frame. And so what this conference does is it brings together experts across the spectrum of each of those four axes. And I don't know of any other conference that does such a magnificent job. My recommendation for anybody who couldn't attend this conference this year is twofold. One, come next year. Two, take a look at all the plenary sessions. I was here for the plenary sessions, and I'm going to watch them again online when they're posted, because the density and the quality of the information in every one of those plenary sessions is remarkable. And it comes from the fact that this conference brings expertise from across the spectrum of all four of those axes, and particularly the legal, ethical, regulatory frameworks are evolving so fast. The last thing that I'll mention is that we have a great, we owe a great thank you to Elon Musk and Stephen Hawking for their raising all of the dystopian threats associated with artificial intelligence. And the virtue of that, as David Brin, the science fiction writer, is fond of saying, is the purpose of science fiction is to, in many cases, a societal benefit, is to characterize dystopian possibilities so that we can anticipate, mitigate, and prevent those from becoming a reality. And so it takes a perspective across all of those dimensions in order to be able to mitigate those risks. And this conference does just a fantastic job of bringing all those experts together.